Sierra Leone. Good afternoon to all my viewers of Kono News Network. This is David Bongo coming to you again from Kono News Network, bringing to you very important conversations. As always, I would also want you to subscribe, also share, and also make comments where necessary. We need your input in this broadcast so that we can improve on areas where you think we are falling short. Today I have with me the examination committee chairman of Unimtech in Kono district, and he's coming to share with us some few ideas. I want to say thank you to KMMRP, Kono News, Kono Mineral Mining Review Project, and ECHO, which is also executives of Kono organizations. These are the groups of people, Kono children, who have come together to make sure justice is prevailing, social justice for everyone, equal rights. They are fighting and talking to authorities to make sure those who do not have voice to advocate for themselves will try to do something to make our authorities listen to them. So I'm going to call on my guest to introduce himself and give us a brief background of himself. Mr. Kondewa, you have the mic.
Yeah, thank you very much, my brother. Thank you, and thank you for my listeners. Of course, um, I am Josiah Kondewa. Of course, son of the soil. Of course, I mean from Konodi Street. Of course, I started my schooling here in Konodi Street. I attended the UMC Boys Primary School at Pimbelin. Of course, I did my primary school there, and my secondary school, I did my junior secondary school at the Kwedu Secondary School, KSS here, Kono. Of course, my senior secondary school education, I did it at the Government Secondary School for Boys, Maboka. From there, I went to the Fabe College, University of Sierra Leone, wherein I acquired my first degree, Bachelor of Science in Economics, of course, college, and of course, I did my Master of Science in Economics as well from the Jala University. Of course, I have done several professional courses. I am a certified business entrepreneur and business planning and entrepreneurship writer. Of course, I am as well a postgraduate diploma holder in human resource management from KFLA. Of course, I have several professional other qualifications apart from those mentioned. I have been lecturing at the said university, the University of Management and Technology, Kono campus to be specific, for several years. I have also taught in several secondary schools here in Kono district as well as in Freetown. Of course, based on the several years of lecturing at the University of Management and Technology, which is Unimtech Kono campus, I was appointed to serve as the chairman of the examinations committee of Unimtech Kono campus. Of course, I just want to make clarification. In your introduction, I heard you saying the chairman. Yes, you could be correct because since I resigned, I was not replied to. But I must say it here, I have resigned as the chairman of the examination committee of Unimtech Kono campus since November.
Okay, so since that time, you have not had anything back from the administration of the
Yeah, nobody
UTMA?
replied. Yeah,
Yes,
of course,
Isaac.
yeah.
Nobody replied
Yeah,
to
of
you?
course. Nobody up to date. I have not got any reply from the administration because the only person that called me is the person acting as the alumni chairperson for Konoya. He called me. He said, "Oh, Mister, I saw it, but hold on, we'll get on to you, blah blah blah." But up to now, nobody got onto me formally with regards to that resignation.
So,
Except when I made formal complaint later regarding the reasons behind my resignation and complained formally to the uh, main campus in Freetown regarding some mishaps here on campus.
okay, so if I may come in, who is actually the recipient of your resignation letter and who should be responding to you?
Well, of course, for our structure demands here in Kono, I resigned because the deputy registrar is the head of campus. So he should have replied to me, but I didn't get any of such from him. So that I
Okay,
don't know why, but yeah.
okay, we'll get to that later on. Um, so we can move on. We are under introduction and background, which you have already done. Can you also give us the main responsibilities of the examination committee under your leadership at the time you were there?
All right, thank you very much. Of course, the examination committee, of course, comprises of colleagues made up the committee, but I was chairing the committee, and the primary responsibility of the committee is to ensure that we oversee all examination activities within campus. Of course, we are ensuring that there is a conducive atmosphere always for all examinations, and also, of course, the students will have to write their exams on a very good atmosphere, and of course credible, free from all malpractices, and of course ensure that there's a transparent, of course, all examination grades are being processed, forwarded to the deputy registrar, who is the head of campus, who forward those grades to main campus, after which, upon their approval, then we have to publish here now on campus for the students.
Okay, thank you very much for that. Under the second sector that is called a examination process, how do you ensure the fairness and integrity of the examination process?
Well, first of all, we ensure prior to the examination, whenever students we have new students, we ensure we conduct seminars for students to orientate them, to tell them their do's and don'ts, things that we don't tolerate for examination, which are punishable, and those that we expect students, and as well colleague lecturers as well. We ensure that we do have meetings so that we discuss manner in which questions are expected, and of course how and when colleagues are to submit questions, and how those questions are being kept secretly to ensure that we avoid students having access to questions before commencement of examination. And we also ensure that there are mechanisms that grades that lecturers will certify the students that these are their grades. We ensure that the actual grade reflect the students, and we always educate them that if there's any doubts with regards to grades being awarded, there is a way of there a channel of meeting the exams committee, forwarding complaints, seeking redress, and we ensure we give them ears, and we ensure we address their issues appropriately.
Okay. You have almost answered part of the next question I'm going to ask. I'll still go on ahead asking that. Could you really like walk us through in detail the steps involved in preparing for and conducting examinations, the steps that you put in place, and then how do you conduct the exams?
Well, of course, annually, whenever we have a semester, there is always a schedule of activities by the by the registry. Of course, there are
Okay, we're getting some technical
so
problems.
whether hello.
Yes, we are getting some technical problems. Can you go over that again, please?
Oh, okay, yeah, okay. Like I was saying, of course, we do normally have a schedule of activities by the administration of the university, and in that schedule, there's a period for examination. So we have a period of when continuous assessments are being given to student tests and the rest of it. But when it is time for examination, what we do is like we ask lecturers to submit questions when it is time for examination on areas they have actually lectured on the course outline. So those questions are being submitted. After the questions are they submit those questions to the examination committee through me, the chairman, because for safety of those questions. And when those questions are being submitted, and during examination, we ensure we have the invigilator list of invigilators, colleagues who are part of the invigilating team will be part of the examination, and also senior lecturers will come around to supervise to see that there's a smooth atmosphere for the examination, to monitor and see that the invigilators are as well doing their job well and the students are also comporting. So, of course, during the examination, we ensure each of the examination halls, we have invigilator or invigilators. They are depending on the size of the hall, and also a supervisor is assigned to those halls
Okay.
to ensure that, yeah.
Okay. So, based on all that you have explained to me, what measures are in place to address potential malpractices?
Well, as I was saying, one of the measures put in place is the questions first. We start with the question. That is why the only person to submit the question to is the chairperson for the examination
Which
committee,
was
which is
you.
my very self. Yes, and for the fear of the questions being leaked. So if there is any leakage of question, it might be the professor himself or my very self. So I always tell them, if this question leak for this paper, then you blame yourself or you blame me, because those questions are from yourself to me. So I always warn them regarding that they should give the questions to nobody. And secondly, as well, during the examination, we ensure most of those gadgets we think that could be tempted for examination malpractice, like the mobile phones, some of those electronic devices that we think students could use for cheating. We ensure we prohibit that from the examination hall, and also, of course, we check them before getting into the examination hall. And also during the examination hall, um, randomly we go around and ensure that the students are safe, and of course they are free from all those unwanted
Malpractices.
material, yes, unwanted materials in the examination hall. And of course, we ensure immediately they are through with the papers. In fact, what we did was like based on our previous experience, because every semester we improve. In fact, this second semester, uh, the last semester, what we did was the booklets. We have 3 areas to sign during the examination. The invigilator will sign. The person invigilating that paper will sign. The student writing the paper will sign. So let's assume I am the one that invigilated the paper. Even if the professor wants to play any game himself with the student, that person that signed on that booklet will not be there. So the person that signed on that day is the person that invigilated on that day. His signature will be on that particular paper, and then there's also a space on it which was not signed by anyone here, because according to the information we get, was that one was for quality assurance, to ensure if there's any need for second mark or verifying those scripts, then after they've done that, that person that will do it will have to ensure they sign there. So there are a lot of other things put in place to ensure that actually we curtail malpractice during the during and even after. And of course, even after the examination, when grades are being when they are done, we ensure we immediately, some lecturers, some professors, we choose to take their script immediately after the paper, because we most times try to ensure that there is timely submission of those marked scripts back to the examination committee, so that we can process them earlier and submit to the management for onward submission to main campus in Freetown.
Okay. So, having looked at the examination process and the way you administer your examinations, what was your main bone of contention, your this satisfaction with the system that made you to resign?
Well, my main dissatisfaction was with the deputy registrar himself. In as much as I was appointed, and with the aim of ensuring that the examination committee and the university is on the right footing, having it at the back of my mind that the examination is the backbone of any university, because the academic side of the university, that's the purpose people go to university. And of course, what I was trying to ensure that we ensure the quality that we are yearning for is there. But the main problem I was having is with him very self. If we are instituting all those policies to ensure there is a quality, there is compliance from lecturers, there are compliance from students, I think him being the head should not be somebody polluting the system himself. So if I am getting the challenge from the person I was not supposed to get a challenge from, then there's a need for me to resign. A lecturer can default, then I can take the complaint to the registrar. Any other person can default. But if the lecturer himself is a victim of the circumstance, where do I go? And most times, several complaints, sometimes it do not yield dividend. And if I am trying to change the system for the better, if the system, instead of me being part of the system to change me negatively, I just have to take, because they know me, that's why they placed me there. They knew what I'm capable of doing, and a lot of recommendations. So if I cannot execute what I wanted to do in terms of having ensuring that there's a quality, then I just have to tender my resignation. And because I've done several complaints internally, a lot of mediation, but things does not go rightly. So I tendered my resignation and complained
So, when you say several complaints, complaints against other professors or against the same registrar?
against the very registrar, because the complaint goes like this. most times lecturers will not be happy when grades are published. The complaint will reach me that Mr. This was not what we submitted to you. This is what we are seeing. Or some students, um, the grades they will see sometimes they will tender their dissatisfaction, and most lecturers will
Excuse
know
me,
some of those
sorry.
students.
Are you
Yeah.
saying that when lecturers submit their marks and when the marks are published, the marks the professors submitted will be changed, will not be the same as the one published? Is that what?
At all, totally. There are most times variation between what they submit, what I process and submit to him, and what he will publish at the end of the day. And the justifications he will give will not be something. We are all educated people. We are all academia. So when somebody is justifying reason, if that reason is the justification is really tangible, you will know. And most times that autocratic system of administering the situation will hold. So I just see the thing as a one-man show. I saw it that way. I really saw it that way. And most times students will complain because most of those professors they know their students. They know their students. And most of those students, when a student is brilliant, he knows what he's capable of doing in examination. So they will frown at certain grades, and the lecturers will tell them, "No, this was not what I gave you actually." And they will complain to me. I will say, "No, when what you gave me is what I presented. But if it has changed, we have held several engagements of such mediations. Sometimes they will profile way forward, and you some in most meetings you will say, okay, I will change the situation. I'm very sorry for this XYZ. Then we'll come together because as administration, there is a need for most times for creating room for improvement most
So
times. But
who is the registrar answerable to? Is there a senate? Is there an like an ethics committee that look at
okay,
these kind of things?
okay, for us here on campus here, we have the deans because we are operating here on satellite campus. We have the deans are here, and of course we have the dean of campus, the dean of students as well, and of course we for him he is answerable to main campus in Freetown, the registrar in Freetown. So and also the vice chancellor and also the pro chancellor and the rest, they are in Freetown. So most times we will try to solve most of those situations internally to ensure that things does not go out of hand. But several times it proved futile. A lot of complaints, and I was caught up in the middle of it. Me being the chairman, and all fingers were pointing at me. You are not taking action on this. You are not taking action on this. You are not doing this. You are not doing this. And I was telling colleagues that actually I'm taking action, and I'm actually putting forward their challenges to the deputy registrar. I'm always bringing their issues forward to the deputy registrar and other senior colleagues on campus to see that there is a way forward. But things are not getting better. So what I did was, because honestly, if we were having that frequent monitoring here on campus, hmm, because I have worked with several other deputy registrars. I've worked under the then deputy registrar, Mr. Imose. I worked under Madam Masire. I worked under Dr. Lamboy. I actually know how they were administering their administration actually, because there was not such problem actually on campus. We know things will not be perfect, but they were doing things in the way that every lecturer was actually pleased, and most students also were actually knowing that there's a discipline on campus, and things were going normal.
So what would you attribute these factors to, these problems that arose for the registrar to go into such practices? What would you allude that to?
Well, of course, if you went through the complaint I sent, in fact, I want to say this because even talking to you, it's just that you got access to the information, so you reached me. So I just want to make it clear to you. Definitely, I did not make that complaint and make it public. I wrote a complaint directly to Freetown. It was a complaint. Just that I copied the academic staff. That the copy that went to the academic staff, other colleagues amongst the academic staff that were also aggrieved, totally aggrieved. Some were overwhelmed and they went as far as publishing it to different media. So that's how people got access to this complaint I made. It was a formal complaint I made to let them know that I have resigned and these are the reasons. And there is a there is a willful destruction of higher education standards going on there. And just an individual is the head, but him being the head is the one that is the individual seriously involved in all of those acts. How dare the senior most on campus is involving in all of those bad acts, and who is going to correct the others now?
Okay, so basically, what I'm getting from you, I'll try my best to see how we can get in touch with necessary stakeholders to address this issue, because it is very, very important that education becomes very transparent, credible, because our universities back in Africa, in Sierra Leone, should work in conjunction with international universities. If they hear of such practices, it is not a good record for our educational system in Sierra Leone at all.
Let me say this to you. The university itself, the university itself has been doing extremely well. hmm? It has been doing extremely well, and even up to now, hmm, it is on record that it is doing well. But this is just an individual. This is just an individual who is there trying to derail the efforts made by several individuals to ensure that the Unimtech University, the gains they have made, to go down the drain. And that is more or less the reason why I'm standing my feet on the ground to ensure that that does not work. Because myself talking to you, I have people in that university I'm paying for. I have people there. I have people there, even as I have resigned, there are still people there who have confidence in me, who have trust in me, who are seeing me as a mentor, as a role model in Konoya, in Sierra Leone, who have passed through me to go to that university. Even up to now, this last admission, some of them, they were admitted, they passed through me, I sent them there.
Okay, so let's move on to the next sector, which is evaluation and standards. You have almost, again, like you do, answered most of the questions that I would be asking in this sector. How does the committee, under normal circumstances, maintain consistency and standardization in grading? What are the policies that you have in place to maintain that
Well,
consistency in grading?
well, of course, as I said earlier, as you said, I have measured most of them. Like after the because we have a continuous assessment. There's a continuous assessment. We have the examination. The assessment goes in two form. We have the continuous assessment and you have the examination. The continuous assessment goes for 30% and the examination goes for 70%. And the continuous assessment is in the purview of the lecturer or the professor, because that 30% attendance goes for 10% for the semester. Attendance your throughout the semester goes for 10%. The 20% could either be test, either continuous assessment like class participation and the assignment. it depends on how the professor wants to assess that student for the 20%. So
So
it's 30%.
is there a standard in the university where, because my concern here, like you said, why would you have too much weight for the examination and a smaller percentage for the continuous assessment? And why should it not be
Uh,
the other way around?
this is how our own curriculum was built here, and that's how I met it, and it's how it is. And even myself, the universities I went through, like Fabe College, it used to be like that, 70, 30, and even I went through Jala University as well, other universities. But what I would say, this is how it has been designed. And but my own justification I will give is that's personal. But looking at the 30% lies solely on the professor because he does his evolution to assess the student. So since that's an individual assessment because he alone does that assessment, but for the examination now, you can have external examiner as well for that 70%. The script could be marked, could also be second marked because and also the examination goes for the whole of what is being done in the semester. For that 30% or the 20%, it's just a portion of what has been done. Sometimes it could be just a topic or so or whatever you see. So you cannot put more weight on test that just goes for a few topic or a topic as to the examination that goes for the whole of what is being done for the semester. So that is it.
Okay, so
And and also we ensure that when those scripts are marked, they are submitted to us as a committee. We ensure those grades submitted to us in line with the scripts, the script and the score sheets. We forward them now after we have done the inputting. They will forward them now to the committee. Will look at it and then forward them now to the deputy registrar because the deputy registrar is the head of the campus here. He takes those grades now to Freetown. And then in Freetown now, because we have the senior examiners there and also the deans and the rest of them, they are in Freetown. So they will look at them. If they are not satisfied with some of those grades processed, they could even call for second marking in Freetown. They can decide whatever within the frame of the laws of the university to decide whether how those students were assessed to ensure that the grades given to those students are actually what they deserve.
yeah, most times people make allegations that some, like even in high schools, people pay money for grades, or parents are meeting teachers, talking to them to help their children in examinations. Would you think that kind of thing was happening at the university level for the registrar to be changing marks?
Yes, yes, and I highlighted them all in the complaint. Yes, yes, of course, definitely. Several complaints, as I'm telling you.